All right, hey y'all, and welcome back to the Rabbit Hole Show. This week, got a friend that I've known for I don't know since high school, maybe a little before. But KJ Ross, episode 60, and as always, we all have a story, we all have struggles, and the good news is we're not alone. KJ, thanks for coming on, and
Sure. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, because we've been talking about, doing this episode for a couple months, and you've been traveling for work and life kind of, the older we get.
Yeah.
But I guess we met, it was definitely at the Harris Y pickup basketball. I was an angry, crazy white dude out there trying to fight everybody. And then your uncle, was assistant basketball coach at Covenant Day for me. Brother-in-law. That's right. Brother-in-law. So shout out to Aaron. He was a very patient and humble guy, and I respected him a lot and learned a lot from him. So, but so I'm gonna kick it over to you, kind of allow you to share a little bit of your journey, and then we'll just have a conversation. And because as I say, everyone's got a story and a journey and struggles, but we're not alone, even though we feel like we're alone in the midst of that dark journey in our life. So that's the purpose of this podcast. I started to share my story, but then to have others on to share their story so that others can relate and hear, other people's stories, just to know that they're not alone.
Right. So we start. Honestly, I can say it started in elementary school.
Yeah. Where are you from, Charlotte?
Yeah, from Charlotte. Born and raised.
Same here.
Went to Cotswold Elementary School, kindergarten to third grade.
Okay.
And my mother was a teacher. Well, still is a teacher there. Even though she's retired, she goes back and still helps out.
Oh, nice.
The kids.
How was that having your mom there? Because I was at Old Providence, and my mom started out as a substitute, and then was a teacher's assistant. But elementary school, I didn't mind having her there. I think maybe an older, it would have been a different story, maybe, but I enjoyed it.
It was good to have her there, but at the same time, I think it was the reason why I felt like everybody was against me. So all the teachers, they would try to talk to me any type of way. You would think because my mom taught there that they would kind of give me some leadway.
You would think.
It was a total opposite. So, they would try to get me in trouble for the smallest things. Like the smallest things. Like I remember this day, like to this day. So, I was hanging with a couple of my friends during recess, and some girl came over and started to spit on us. So
the spit,
just started spitting on us, and we were playing. I think we were playing basketball or just standing there for I don't know. I can't remember exactly what we were doing. But I know we were just in a circle, and she spat on me. She spat on a couple of my other friends, and I probably shouldn't have did it, but I picked up a rock and threw it at her.
It's elementary school. You're not thinking.
Yeah,
you're just like, why are you doing that?
Exactly. And I knew not to hit her, but it was just like, okay, well, this is the closest thing I can do to
without physically hitting.
Yeah, make her feel me. So I picked the rock up, threw it at her, hit her square in the forehead,
like David and Goliath.
Yeah, hit her square in the forehead. And I remember just the teacher making me go and stand up, and she stopped recess for everybody. Stopped recess, got everybody in a circle, made me stand up in front of the circle, and was like, "This is what you don't do to women and or to girls." And I'm like, she was spitting on us first. Why is she not in trouble? And I get that I threw the rock, but she's not in trouble at all. So I think I got suspended for 2 or 3 days.
So that was the first time that, kind of you felt ostracized.
Yeah.
And how did that, what grade? Elementary.
I think I was in probably second grade.
Young kids. Yeah. So how did, from there on, what was your mindset? If you can remember second grade kind of.
It was, I really didn't have a mindset. It was just to try to make it through school.
Yeah.
But it continued on, through third grade. I ended up going to Sharon Road Elementary, and it was the same exact thing. I was walking the track every day for getting in trouble for small things. So it was like I always got in trouble for the smallest things, and nobody else got in trouble. So I was only there for like maybe a month or two. And they was just like, look, we don't want you at this school anymore. And they was like, yeah, you can go.
Dang.
So then I had to go to Myers Park Traditional. I went there from third to fifth grade. It got a little better.
Yeah.
I really didn't get in that much trouble there. I just didn't like school. So I would try to get out of school as much as possible. But then middle school came, sixth grade. Everybody knew I played basketball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they were kind of waiting on me to get to seventh grade so I could start playing basketball.
Yep.
But some stuff happened in middle school, and I'm with the LGBTQ community plus and all of that. I have no problem with anybody that represents that. And it was this one guy who started a rumor, and that still goes on to this day, that he did some stuff with me, and now he's been spreading a rumor about me since
this is in sixth grade,
since the seventh grade
or seventh.
I'm 30 years old now, and when I say like it became bad, like further down, like just a few years ago. I had a girlfriend at the time, and he made a back page like of me.
What's it for listeners? What's a back page?
A back page is something for I think it was for gays, like for gay people. Like they can come on there and message you. It's kind of like the Tinder,
okay,
all that stuff today.
Yeah,
but it was only on the websites.
Okay,
so you have to go to the website. He had my picture on there. He had a picture of me and my ex-girlfriend on there. He had my telephone number on there, like all of that. And
so defamation,
basically. And my ex-girlfriend's dad calls me into his office one day. It's like, yo, like, what is this? Like, why is my daughter's face on this? I'm like, I have no idea who's doing this. And like I said, it's been going on
seventh grade to third. That's 20. I don't know. Long,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
What? Like, so, I mean, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had, that stuff going on. But back, still in middle school, it was just, trying to deal with stuff like that and try to play sports, because I played football and basketball in middle school.
Was that your kind of safe haven?
Yeah.
Like sports?
Yeah, because like I felt like it was my getaway.
Yep.
Like
I feel that, because that was mine too.
Like I don't have to deal with this. I can come here for 2 hours, 3 hours, play basketball, get buckets, and now afterwards I can, whatever is going on, I'll handle it then.
But right now, this is
I'm cool.
Yep.
I'm cool.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah. 8th grade, didn't really deal with anything. 9th grade,
your high school was a little.
Yeah. High school was kind of shaky. Shaky.
Yeah, I remember.
9th grade, got an awakening. Because through middle school, I kind of like slacked off, because I knew middle school work was easy for me. Once I got to high school, it was like, all right, like I got to lock in now. But I just didn't understand it. So I started slipping grades. Head coach, Coach Terry, brought me out of a class one day. I'm talking about cursed me out. Like I was crying. Like that's how bad. Yeah, like that's how bad he cursed me out. I was crying.
But it was coming from a loving
it was
place,
coming from a
like
loving
a
place.
Tough love.
Yeah. And I still talk to Coach Terry to this day. 10th grade, kind of the same thing, but I still got through with it. But we at South Meg, I still got through with it. 11th grade, just couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't do it. And at South Meg, like test scores counted for a lot. And I just could not pass tests. Like I didn't understand it.
Yeah. It wasn't that you weren't trying. It was just.
Yeah, because throughout high school, I only missed 4 days. I missed 4 days of high school, like all 4 years.
And where earlier in your educational career. You were trying to get out.
Trying to get out.
But you knew you had to lock in, like you said.
But high school, you know, I was trying to stay, but I had a lot of stuff going on too.
Mm-hmm.
Like dealing with stuff at home. And like I've been dealing with that since a child. So it's just, you know, trying to maneuver through stuff at home, trying to go to school and get my grades and play basketball. And then at the time, the football coach wanted me to play, but Coach Terry was like, you either going to play basketball or you're going to play football. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to play football because there's some guys on that team that's like 6'4", 6'3", 6'2", like 280 pounds, and I don't want to get hit.
Because you're what, 5'11",
I'm like 5'10".
Yeah.
Back then, I was probably like 5'6", maybe 130 soaking wet. Like, yeah, I'm good on football, so I'll just play basketball. But yeah, I mean, even in high school, I had teachers do the same thing to me. Like they just, I don't know what it was.
I was about to ask, what do you think it was?
Like I honestly don't know what it was.
It sounds like you just had that target.
Yeah,
on your back.
I feel like, and like you said, I feel like I've had a target on my back since I was younger. Like I was younger. I was never like the type to be put on a pedestal as much as everybody else, even though I was talented. I felt like I was just as good as everybody else.
Or even better on the basketball court, I would say.
Yeah, because I mean, like, these are my brothers, like, to this day. Like, Ian Miller, Marquise Rankin, Jacoby Davis, Jarrell Eddy, like, we all played on the same AAU team. And, you know, I
played against Jarrell when he was at Cannon.
Yeah. And we've all played on the same AAU team since we were 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But
brothers.
Yeah, since like 7 years old. Yeah. And I still talk to all of them to this day. And, you know, I was never put out there as much as them. And I always felt that. Like, how come I don't get the same praise everybody else does?
Mm-hmm. You had that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, like I had a chip on my shoulder. So, I mean, when it came to high school, it was the same thing. Like, I'm scoring, you know, 18 a game as a junior, not even getting a write-up in the paper. You know, even though I didn't play the second half of, you know, the season, junior or senior year due to grades.
Yeah.
I still scored 1,000 points at South Meck.
Yep.
Like,
as I saw a post on Facebook, I think it was recently, that you had posted a long time ago, but brought it back up. Like, why, you know, why am I not? Was it your retirement or just a recognition?
I still don't get recognized for anything, like for anything I did at South Meck. Like, and I feel like I can toot my own horn. I feel like I was one of the reasons why a lot of people went to South Meck. Because I did try to transfer.
I mean, your name, I remember I went to Covenant Day, obviously.
And I tried to transfer to Covenant Day.
Yep.
My teachers, so bring this up again. My teacher sent a letter to the dean at Covenant Day saying that I was a bad student. And that's the reason why I didn't get in.
Really?
That's the reason why I didn't get in. Because I tried twice.
I remember you trying, but I didn't know the.
Yeah. I tried to leave South Meck twice.
Because I remember you were trying to leave, but I didn't know the reason.
I tried to leave South Meck twice. I tried to go to Covenant Day and I tried to go to Charlotte Latin. And teacher sent stuff to both schools.
Because you have to get a teacher referral or whatever.
Exactly. They sent stuff to both schools. So during my senior year, I had to teach myself biology.
I mean, I couldn't even barely pass that with a teacher teaching me.
I got kicked out of class. So it was one day in biology, and this is why I say, like, I felt like teachers, like, it was just a few teachers that just did not like me.
They just hated you.
Yeah. So
hate's a strong word.
Yeah.
It sounds like that.
It was one day in class, we were taking a test, and I was probably being a smart aleck, but I was like, you know what? I don't care.
We're all being smart at that age.
Yeah. So I'm like, but on the paper, there was nowhere to write our name. Like, it did, because you know how when you get a paper, it says name and then date.
Generally top writers. Right. Yep.
And there was nothing there. And so I'm looking around the class. I'm like, hey, like, where do we write our name? I don't know. I'm like, somebody ask her. They were like, no, I don't want to ask her. I'm like, I'll ask her.
Yeah.
So I raised my hand. I was like, hey, like, what do we write our name on the paper? She was like, are you really asking me that question? Like, are you really asking me that question? You know what? I know you're just trying to be smart. You know what? Get out. I'm like, all right. So I get up. She calls the security guard, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris comes down. Like, I was cool with Mr. Harris.
Yeah.
Like, and because he came to the basketball games, and, you know, we always talked about different stuff. And he was like, KJ, what you do this time? I was like, I really didn't do anything. I asked her what to put our name on the paper, and she got mad. So she's standing outside talking to Mr. Harris, and I'm standing in the doorway. Like, in the doorway trying to listen to what she's saying. And she was like, you know what? Move, get out of the way. And she made me stand behind the door. she decides to push the door up against me. So I pushed it back at her. And she was like, you know what? I don't want him in this class ever again anymore, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up having to go to the assistant principal's office every morning for first block.
For biology.
And teach myself biology. All she did was hand the paperwork to the assistant principal. The assistant principal gave me the paperwork. I had to figure everything out on my own. And that was one of the courses that I had to pass to graduate high school.
Do you remember what you got in that?
I think I got maybe a C.
I mean, it's
passing.
And you taught yourself
I had to
biology.
teach myself biology in high school to pass, to graduate.
That, I mean, yeah. So you got this chip on your shoulders, target on your back, starting kind of from third grade, navigating stuff at home. And then you have going into middle school, this seventh grade rumor that's carrying on. What's your mindset like? Because for me, I don't really remember depression, anxiety, mental health wasn't really talked about.
Right.
So, like, what's going on with you?
I had basketball. Like I had an outlet. Like I was literally going to the gym every day. Like every day, whether I'm spending 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, just trying to be away from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I'm going by myself or with a couple of my best friends, Julius Polite, John Parham, DeMario Cloud, Mel Hunt, whether we were going to, didn't matter. Like I was just trying to be away from everything going on and not think about it. But basketball was definitely the outlet for it.
I mean, it showed on the court.
Yeah,
because we played pickup. I guess that was starting early high school, and.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, I was always angry out there because I had my own stuff I was dealing with. Talk about that. I mean, I'm sure running pickups wasn't always the most fun with me.
No, it was cool.
But I'm saying, like, when I would get angry, because I had a lot of stuff going on outside too. Yeah. And my outlet was, fighting and stuff. And I didn't care who you were. Like, I never fought with you and others that I knew.
Exactly. But see, that's the thing. That's why I like playing with you, because I'm like, all right, well, I know if something goes down, I know Chad got my back. So
yeah,
likewise. But
yeah,
I'm okay playing with him. I'm cool.
Yeah. But that was an outlet for me, even though sometimes it would seem like it was more stressful, but it was still outlet, and I was able to let that aggression out.
Yeah.
Different walks of life. I would get in trouble for talking, but seventh grade, I moved over to Covenant Day from Carmel Middle because I was struggling just academically, because ADD was an issue for me. Just couldn't concentrate, and in the public schools here, they're not the best. Right. It's, you're not getting that extra help if needed. You kind of just get lost. Yeah. And so that was the reason for going to Covenant Day. And thankfully I got in and was able to get that help. But I mean, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, basketball was definitely an outlet for me. So going back to, biology, you graduate. What's next?
So after that, I ended up having to go to a junior college, Rockham Community College. And
where's that?
It's in Reidsville, North Carolina.
Okay.
On the outskirts of Greensboro. I always tell people that it was probably one of my worst mistakes going there, but it was kind of a lesson for me, because they don't even have a basketball program now. So I went there, made first team all conference freshman year, averaging about 14 and 7 assists. So that was really like the first time I ever got like recognized for playing basketball.
Because your name wasn't associated, from the city of Charlotte, and you were your own person, own identity out there. About. Correct.
But I did do some dumb stuff while I was there,
which we all do. I mean, whoever has listened to this, they know my history.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we're given second chances.
Right. So it was a few times. Me and my roommate, Bobby Scriven, we would go to different restaurants and just say we forgot our order, or they forgot our order, and they would just give us free food. Like they were, and we did that for like a week, and I don't know how they caught onto it. Somebody caught onto it, and they told our coach, and our coach is like, "You guys keep doing that, I'm gonna kick you out of school," because he was the AD as well.
Okay.
So I'm like,
so he had some power.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, bro, like no more free food.
Yeah.
Like, no more free food. Then I also did some other dumb stuff too that it was one of my teammates. I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. Like I drew a penis on the back of his car, like with a key, like keyed it in.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And me being young, I'm thinking like, oh, this is a joke. Like he can get this fixed, like blah blah blah. And he ended up punching me in the face, like in the locker room. And granted,
team chemistry really not going too well now.
Right. So he ended up getting kicked off the team because I didn't react to it because I knew I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
So I actually ran like after he hit me, and
but you're not that type of person,
right?
You're very level-headed.
Yeah. And I mean, I can get there, but I don't think I ever will.
Correct. It takes you. I've never seen you.
It takes a lot.
I've never seen you snap.
Yeah,
like you've seen me.
Yeah. Like I think it'll take a lot for me to get there. But I actually ran straight to the coach. Like I said, he's the AD. Made me bleed a little bit, but I took it though.
Yeah,
I took it like a champ.
There you go.
So like I said,
like
he ended up getting yeah. That's my guy.
I know. That's why I threw it out there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yep. We'll talk about. But yeah, I ended up going to the dean. Well, that was his name, Dean, but he was the AD.
Ironic.
Ended up kicking him off the team. I got suspended for like 3 games. But came back after that.
So what's your mindset? You've got in trouble for the free food.
Yeah.
Now the keying incident.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like, I need to get my shit together, or is it kind of like still? I mean, and from what I've dealt with in my life, here in years now, you got that chip on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I get where this outburst, whatever you want to call them, kind of, what's going
on? And on top of that, I was coming off a torn rotator cuff. So I had surgery. I had to miss the first half of my sophomore season.
You couldn't even practice or play. So there goes your outlet.
All right. Couldn't practice or anything. Then that happens. So now it's just like, all right, bro, like you only have like a few more months to play basketball here, and then you have to figure it out because you have I had no looks, which was crazy for me because like I said, I was a freshman that made all conference at the JUCO level, and
JUCO is it was tough because we were playing Lewisburg, who had a couple D1s on their team, played Hargrave Military Academy, who had Montrezl Harrell, Dez Wells, Marquise Rankin, Cody Miller McIntyre. Like we're playing guys like that are in the league now,
and
and it's not
PJ Harrison, guys like that, and
it's not a soft schedule.
and I'm hanging with them, and then we played Fishburne with TJ Hollis on it, and Tevin
I ran
Jones
into him not too
it.
long ago, so shout out TJ. Ran into him at church.
That's my guy.
Yeah. He listens to these because he travels for work. He was telling me, and he said this is good to for him just to listen to, and it was good to catch up. I hadn't seen him in a while because I lost touch with all those guys. But yeah.
So playing against those guys and still not getting any recognition.
That's gotta,
bro. It
make you feel some type of way.
It sucked because like to have no looks like at all, and
I mean, and going back 3rd grade, you're never getting the benefit of the doubt. It's always something,
right. I mean, to go back to high school, I kind of did it to myself, like it was with the grades and stuff like that, because I had Richmond and Bucknell, Lehigh. Like I had some Oklahoma, I had D1 schools looking at me. Wake Forest and Skip Prosser was there. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
He was looking at me too, and just didn't have the grades to go anywhere. So everybody just cut ties.
Grades are because you got to get into the school. I mean, there's a little bit of slack, but still you gotta.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like some teachers can just push this grade up a little. Nobody wanted to do it for me. So,
or they wouldn't help you with the extra after school, tutoring or whatever.
exactly. So after I left Rockingham, my brother-in-law Aaron Alexander, who's with EA Prep Stars, he helped me get to Mount Ida school up in Boston. Cold. And I got there, and it was mandatory for the basketball team to run cross country. Never ran cross country a day in my life.
That's not track. That's cross country.
Yeah, like
that's the long distance.
Don't like running. I never ran for fun. Like I never liked to run for fun.
I think for basketball, the most we would do was a mile.
Yeah, and this was 5 miles, like every morning, in about 40-degree weather.
Because it's Boston.
Boston. Yeah, like August, Boston. So, I ended up being really good though. And
I mean, conditioning, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I never got tired. So I never got tired, and then
you're a point guard, shooting guard, so you got the endurance.
And then running in Boston, like the scenery was really nice. So it was like I'm just running, just looking at stuff, like not even paying attention to
the distance
endurance or anything.
Correct, yeah.
So
you truly were able to escape.
Yeah. So like the first meet that I had to run in, I came in like 9th or 10th place out of like 40 people, and I beat the guy that actually ran cross country that was on our team. We only had one cross country runner that was on our team. The rest were basketball players.
So that's one reason they needed.
Yeah. But then reality struck. Room and board was $15,500 by itself because it was a private school. Couldn't afford it. Tried everything. Tried my uncle. He tried to, do the loan thing for me. My sister, my mom, my dad.
Because they knew you're talented.
Yeah. Everybody. Like I literally tried everybody. It was either they made too much money or didn't make enough. So now I'm only there for 5 weeks, and I'm literally going home on my birthday. Had to leave school on my birthday because just couldn't afford it.
And I mean, I've been locked up on a birthday before, but at least I was around people. Whereas you're traveling home by yourself,
thousands of miles away, getting on.
And this is something that a goal you've been wanting to get to, and I mean, it was a journey, but you had gotten there, and now 5 weeks in, it's like, all right,
time to go home. Yep. Came home, got a job working at Foot Locker, worked at Foot Locker for 6 years. But while I was there, I ended up taking some courses at CP that next semester. And then I ended up transferring to Virginia Union. Went to Virginia Union for a year, loved it, probably shouldn't have left, but reality set in again right before I left. So during the summertime, I'm playing in the Pro-Am here in Charlotte, and I was playing really well. And the last Pro-Am that I played in was at Johnson C. Smith.
Yep.
And Coach Sherrill, who's one of the coaches there, he was like, "Man, what you gonna do for school next year?" I was like, "Well, I mean, I don't know yet. I'm trying to go back to Virginia Union." Coach just didn't want me, like, at all. Like he saw me work out. Like I was a manager of the basketball team the whole year. It was to the point where I was practicing with the team.
How was that being a man? I mean, you can play, run with them, probably better than most of them. But again, you're not getting that benefit, that look, that, and you're a manager. Like, I mean, for me, my pride would not have allowed me to do that.
Bro, it was so many times I'm like, dude, I know I shouldn't be a manager of this team. But going in, I didn't have the grades to play.
Okay.
So it takes
that
you back
was
to high school.
Starting out, okay.
Yeah. So I just didn't have the grades to play. And but the coach wanted me to be around because he saw how good I was. So every game I'm, traveling with the team, water boy here, washing jerseys, and and practicing with the team,
schooling them,
learning
probably.
plays, learning plays and all of that. We go to New York to play in a classic. We played at Barclays. And I remember, like, we were out to maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning at some random laundromat washing jerseys. I'm like, dude, like, I know I shouldn't be doing this.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. Like, I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, I was
didn't
washing
know that.
jerseys at 3 o'clock in the morning, knowing I had to be back up at 9 to go around to each person's room to knock on their door to make sure they're awake for shoot around. Because we had a game. We had a game the next day.
Yeah.
So Yeah, but then, fast forward to the end of the season. But I would like, even after practice, I was working out, like getting up shots on the gun.
Because you still, I mean, that's
Yeah,
again
it was
going
a
back. That's
passion.
your passion
Yeah, it was a
and
passion.
your escape, kind of from
Yeah,
all
everything
stuff that you're dealing
everything
with.
that was going on. And I ended up getting a girlfriend that year at Virginia Union, 2014. So just traveling back and forth from home, 4 hours, trying to go see her and see family, but still try to stay at school as much as I can and stay in the gym. But yeah, I'm working out like every day, trying to make sure the coaches see that I'm still able to play once my time comes that next year.
Yep.
In the gym with one of my guys, Dominique, and we were in the gym till like 11, 12, 1 a.m. Like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I was in the gym working out.
Because when your numbers call, you were going to be ready.
And right when the season ended, they fired the coach.
So all that work, and that's how it goes in college, though.
They fired the coach. So now a new coach comes in.
He don't know what you've been doing. He doesn't
know.
He's bringing a whole new system, a whole new everything.
And he saw me play in an open gym once, and I was a scorer in high school. Like everybody knows I was scoring in high school. But then once I started to understand the game, I'm like, I can score not when I want to, but when I need to.
An assist and because I mean you're leading the team as a point guard,
and
you're the quarterback on the court essentially.
Yeah, but I knew I had other scorers on on the court with me, so I'm like, okay, well let's just give them the ball, and I'll score.
You knew everyone's roles,
right? And I call him. I get back to Charlotte, and I call him. I'm like, hey coach, just trying to check and see what we're looking like for next year. As far as me making the team, he was like, I don't think I'll need you for next year. I want to bring, more of the guys that's coming from the DMV area, and in that open gym that you played in, you pass the ball a lot.
Most coaches like that.
Like, bro, for one, I'm a point guard.
That's my role,
right? And for two, like, I mean, I scored when I needed to. I made open shots, but at the end of the day, I'm a point guard.
You weren't forcing or
right. So again, here we are, not knowing what's next and not getting the recognition I deserve again, because there's people that's coming back to play on this team that are vouching for me, like, coach, like he's good, like we need him or we want him to.
And when you have players doing that, that speaks a lot.
Yeah, he was just not with it. So now it's like, all right, back to square one. Another
thing against you.
Yep. So back to square one. But then again, like I said, going to John C. Smith, like I said, Coach Sherrill recruited me. I was like, well, if you give me some money, I'll come. He's like, well, we'll figure it out. End up getting a scholarship to Smith.
And that's in the backyard, basically. Yeah. Charlotte. And
reality set in again. I would play maybe 2 games, then I would sit for 3. I would play 1 game, sit for 2 games. I would play 4 games, maybe, but during these games I'm playing in,
you're producing.
But bro, I'm only playing like 7-8 minutes. 7-8 minutes a game. I remember, because we ended up winning the Southern Division the year I played in 2015, 2016. Mm-hmm. Going into CIAA number 1 seed. The game before we go into CIAA, I played 7 minutes. I had 6 assists in 7 minutes. 6 assists in 7 minutes.
That's crazy.
I mean, I didn't really score, but
assist is
right. We ended up winning the game, and literally every game that I played in, except for maybe like 1, we won.
What do you know why, or what do you think?
So I went and talked to the coach after one of the practice, Coach Joyner, and I just asked him, I'm like, hey, like, what do I need to do to get more playing time?
You came at it in a respectful, professional way.
Yeah, like it was just me, him, and Coach Sherrill, just standing there, and he says, "Son, you're just in a bad spot right now." Basically, because there was already a guard ahead of me, Robert Davis, who ended up winning the CIAA Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. Rob's good. and then another guy, Dre Huntley. I played against Dre in JUCO. But Dre had already been there as well. So me and Dre were kind of battling for that second spot. And don't get me wrong, Dre is good as well. He's a 5'5", 5'4" point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Can do everything.
A little Muggsy.
Yeah, can do everything. And Coach Jordan just told me you're in a bad spot. But it's just like I'm producing every game that I play in. So again, not getting the recognition I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So going into the CIAA tournament as number 1 seed, first game at Hornets Arena, it's the whole bottom bowl is filled up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking my guys, my teammates, like a couple days before the game, we're practicing at the arena. I'm like, bro, do y'all think I'm gonna play next game? Because I didn't know, because throughout the season,
it's a roller coaster.
Throughout the season, I'm only playing like 2 games here, sit for 4 games, and 1 game here, sit for 2. And they're like, yeah, bro, like you played good last game. I think you'll get some minutes. I'm like, man, I hope so, because like I'm playing in Charlotte.
Correct. You got
at
your
the Hornets
family,
Arena.
friends.
You got family, got my ex-girlfriend. Like everybody's at the game. I'm like, man, I'm ready. Playing Livingstone, who's our rival. Like like I said, the whole bottom bowl is filled up. Even a couple people's at the top. Game goes into double overtime. I play the last 32 seconds. Last 32 seconds of the game, and we're already down by 12.
So it's trash
Game
minutes.
was over. So I was so upset. Like I was so upset that I didn't care what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He put me in the game. I'm like, you know what, man? Like wherever I touch this ball, I'm shooting it. 1 step across half court, caught it, shot it, didn't care. I hit the rim. It's not like an air ball, but I hit the rim. But like I just
you're making a statement, kind of.
Yeah, like I'm like I don't care. Like I don't care.
We lost the game so hard, and like this is what I'm getting.
Coming to practice every day. So our locker room was downstairs. I'm carrying the ball rack with another freshman downstairs every day. Had to shave my head bald to be cut. Yeah, that's another thing. So a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know, but we shave. It's a tradition at John C. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
All newcomers and freshmen have to shave their head bald before the first home game. If you don't, you don't play.
For that game or until you shave it?
Until you do it. So I did it thinking I'm going to play. And now I'm like, I shouldn't have did it because I didn't play as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
But it was just a bunch of sacrifices, that I made. And on top of playing basketball, going to school full time, trying to balance out a relationship, not playing on an organized team like that in about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
you've been at Foot Locker and
trying
to get to where you could be.
Bro, I was still working at Foot Locker during the season. Still working at Foot Locker during the season, and I was still at home because I was like, there's no point in me paying
to live
on campus,
20 minutes away or whatever.
On campus when I could just stay at home.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's still got stuff going on at home too.
Yeah.
So dealing with that, basketball, working, and going to school full time. I mean, a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, it was a lot of stress going on at that time. But again, basketball was an outlet. But I didn't take basketball as serious as I probably should have while I was there because I didn't work out because my mind was just everywhere.
It had everything, a lot of other stuff.
So I was like, after practice, I'm like, well, now it's 6 o'clock. I got to be to work. So now that's stressing me out. Then right after work, I got homework. So it's like everything was just piling up all at one time. Yeah, it was stressful. Then after Smith, I had a semester to play because I guess
red shirt and
all of that stuff,
eligibility.
I sent a letter to the NCAA to give me an extra semester to play,
so you could have a year,
so I can have a full year. All I needed was a signature from my AD from Smith.
Let me guess. I'm gonna guess he wouldn't sign it.
My AD was the head coach. Didn't want to sign it because he said that I ended up going to an overseas camp in Vegas during that summer. You know, because I'm like, well, I only got a semester, and I'm going through all this NCAA stuff, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back to play or not. So I was like, well, I might as well just go try this while I can. Pay for my flight, pay for my hotel, pay for a rental car, everything. Have receipts to everything. I go back and ask him, like, hey, I talked to NCAA. They're going to approve it to give me another semester. All I need is a signature and your explanation of why you want to sign it, stuff like that. Well, you went over, you did this. Oh, I heard you went over, you did this overseas camp, and I don't want to have the NCAA come back on us and say, you got paid to do this. And this is, when
you saved your receipts,
right,
for proof,
saved everything. He was like, nah, I don't. Then on top of that, I don't think we're going to need you next year anyway.
Again, with we don't need you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just defeating.
Yeah. So now it's like, now I'm just thinking my basketball career is over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've worked from 3 years old trying to make it to play professional. And
it wasn't an easy journey.
Wasn't at all. And yeah, to hear that, it's just like, all right, well, let's try to figure something else out. So I went to 2 or 3 camps that summer, and same thing. It was, we don't have the money to, pay you to come play over here in Mexico, or we already have our guy, The
same answer that you were kind of used to.
I mean, you don't really have any stats. Like, you weren't good enough in college, and
I would have if I would have gotten the playing time.
All of that. So yeah, I just kind of gave up on basketball. Like,
how was that? I mean, it couldn't have been easy.
It wasn't. I mean, I still have the urge to play now, but I guess, like I keep saying, reality set in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like, all right, man, you can try one more time. If you don't get it, you can say you did.
Yep.
So tried it again, and it just didn't work out. So that next year, I had another year, another semester to graduate. During that semester, I started coaching at West Meck.
I do remember that. Yeah,
I coached West Meck JV basketball team. So again, I'm working at Foot Locker,
school,
and now I'm coaching. So it's like, it's still living at home, like, just all of this stuff, and still trying to manage a relationship through all this stuff too. So it's like, again, a lot of stress.
A lot of stress.
But main focus was still, to finish school and basketball.
Yeah, because I mean, school. Yeah, because school's important.
Yeah.
But I think from knowing what you do now, that prepared you from my perspective that I've seen.
Yeah, doing what I do now. Well, just to even get to the point where I'm at right now, like, bro, like, I can quote Nipsey Hussle on this. Like, I went through every emotion, like literally every emotion to get where I'm at right now. Like, every emotion, from being upset with myself to crying to, all right, I finally made it, to the next day it's like, damn, no, you didn't. Like,
yeah,
no, you didn't. But yeah, I went through a hard time. So like I said, I was in a relationship. I was, in a relationship for 5 years. About to propose that following year. I don't think she knew. I don't think anybody really knew, to be honest. I had it in my head to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we just end up breaking up, and it hit hard, bro. Like, hard, because we ended up moving with each other and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it hit hard. And,
she was probably someone that you could open up to and talk about your stress and just whatever. Yeah,
everything.
A safe person, like basketball is your safe place.
And still to this day, like, I'm still, kind of tight with her family.
Mm-hmm.
But it hit hard. So that was going on. Like I said, still dealing with stuff at home. That was going on. I had been working for an agency, sports agency, doing scouting for like a year, and didn't make one penny off of it. Like I'm emailing, GMs and stuff like that overseas, and GMs for G League teams and all of that, and got a couple guys overseas and didn't make 1 cent. So it's like trying to deal with that. Fresh off of not being able to play basketball anymore, and
helping guys to get to where your dream was.
Bro, when I say I hit like rock bottom, like I didn't know what to do anymore. Like I didn't know what to do. Like, but that wasn't even like the lowest point that I've been at.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I thought it was. But I did end up going to therapy. And I'm going to see Miss Patricia. She's at Brightworks. Yeah, Brightworks.
Therapy is amazing. It took me forever to get into therapy, but once I got in there and really started opening up, like just speaking on it and sharing it with someone else, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, just getting it out. And like I tell a lot of people now, like, feel your feelings. Like, no matter what it is, whether you're happy, sad, mad, upset, like disappointed, whatever it is, like feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how it feels to feel that way. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, how do I get myself out of this?
Correct.
And I learned that with Miss Patricia, like if you feel your feelings, you can give yourself 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And after that, let it go.
Just don't dwell on it.
Right.
Because when you dwell on it, that's when you're trapped and stuck and you don't have that so-called freedom.
Exactly. So yeah, I dealt with that, and then got a new agency that I was working with. So my nephew Tashawn Alexander, he was playing at Creighton, and I get a call from
They went pretty far in the tournament that year, didn't they?
No, because that was
I remember watching
the COVID year. So
bro,
we were literally at Madison Square Garden. We were watching this game at Madison Square Garden. They stopped the game at halftime. Called the game at halftime due to COVID.
What?
And they were the last conference. The Big East was the last conference to stop playing, because ACC and SEC that morning canceled the rest of their games, but the Big East were like, you know what?
Oh, I do remember.
We'll go ahead and play our games. They ended up stopping the game at halftime.
Because this was 2020.
Yep, 2020.
I remember because they didn't even have the tournament that year.
Mm-mm.
I remember that now.
Yep, it was 2020.
Because it's weird. COVID seems like it was forever ago, even because in the world we live in, something big happens and then the news media allows you to forget it because it's something else. And
Yep. So that happened, and that summer I get a call from Ronnie Chalmers, Mario Chalmers' dad, who's my cousin.
Okay.
Trying to recruit Tashawn to come, sign to the agency. And, I just was telling him, the stuff that I do. I was like, I scout kids and stuff like that. He was like, well, you might as well, just come join us. Like, okay. Like, okay, cool. And I've been down with them ever since.
And you knew a lot of players too.
Yeah. And I can get in touch with a lot of players.
I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit, but you got some some high profile.
Yeah. But he ended up going to a different agency. My nephew did. Then didn't sign with us, which was fine with me, because at the end of the day, I let him make his decisions. I'm just there to
support.
If you need help,
correct.
I got you. I'm, like you said, support him. But at the end of the day, that's your decision. My sister, my brother-in-law.
Your journey.
Exactly. You need my help.
You got my number, and
right.
If not, I'll catch you at the barbecue or whatever.
Right. But yeah, so I've been doing this scouting thing for about 3 years now, and what's crazy is I've only made like $2,500. past 3 years.
Wow.
And that's no knock to like the agency that I've been with or anything like that. But we just haven't had it in the budget, and I've known that. But like I always tell people, if you love what you do, it's never hard, or it's never like a job to you.
Correct.
And I love like helping people. Like I tell people all the time, I feel like God put me on this earth to help people.
Same for me. I mean, I've always enjoyed helping people, but I had to go through my own dark, long journey. People praying for me,
right?
Family expecting the phone call, "Hey, come identify his body."
Yeah.
And that call came, but I woke up, and because I went through that, just like you went through your basketball career, the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know, you're able to help because of your journey, and you know, me applying to grad school, and today got offered the job at Charlotte Rescue Mission.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Thank you. I mean, took a pay cut, and you know, but when, like you said, when you have that passion for it, you know, and it's a weekend job, it's full time, so it's 48 hours and 2 days on the weekend, but you got to grind and put in the sacrifices to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
And like again, the passion plays a big part.
Yeah. But I mean, and don't get me wrong, I bring up the $2,500 because it's never really about money to me. As long as I can help you be successful, I'm good.
And people remember that.
Yeah, I'm good. Like conversations and making connections, that's why I feel like I excel at. Money's, and I tell people all the time, money's gonna come.
You just got to be patient.
Money's gonna come. Be patient.
And keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. As long as you can get A out of the way, you can move on to B.
And you've had a lot of A's.
Yeah. Had a lot of A's. But then you can move on to B, but then don't forget about A.
And remember how you dealt with them in a negative way or even a positive way.
Yeah.
So when that happens again, how do you navigate that?
Exactly. So I can say like my lowest time.
Yeah, speak on that.
Man, bro, like,
because I mean, up to now, there's been a lot of lows.
Yeah.
You know, but with my journey, I had a lot of lows, and I thought those were rock bottoms. But you know, my rock bottom came almost 2 years ago. Thankfully.
Yeah. Glad you're still here.
Yeah.
So I was working at Hertz. I was working at Hertz for probably about a year and a half. Matter of fact, I was working with my roommate back from Rockham Community College, Bobby. And
y'all are paying for your food now, though.
Yeah, we're paying for it. we got some money now. But yeah, so the agency called me and they were like, "Hey, we want you to go to Vegas for 2 months to do basically like manage the guys that we had signed to our agency."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was like my breakthrough.
Like, this is the time
like,
I'm gonna.
This is what I've been waiting for. Like, so I get to Vegas, quit my job like all together. And I'm thinking like, all right, like I'm good now.
Like, I'm set.
I'm good. Get to Vegas.
Finally, my time is coming.
Yeah. And I'm out there for 2 months and didn't get $1. But I had money saved up from working at Hertz that I could.
So they weren't even.
I could take care of myself. No. Like I could take care of myself while I was out there and take care of the guys buying groceries. And don't get me, I can't say they did, reimburse me here and there, but it wasn't everything that I spent.
And for listeners, we're in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Over the West Coast, it's, I don't know. I know like San Francisco, all that's like 5-6 times the rate here.
Exactly.
So
exactly. So
we're not getting paid the salary that they are over there because the cost of living.
Right. So that was going on, and then then like on top of all of that, like I'm still dealing with the pain from
the breakup. Because that takes a while.
It didn't go away. Like it didn't go away.
Because that was a 5-year relationship.
Yeah. Like strong 5-year relationship.
Because my longest, I think they've been under a year.
Yeah.
Because I had my addiction, mental health, and rightfully so. They didn't last long.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine 5-year breakup.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, came back home, and then I didn't get paid till 2 months later. And that was the $2,500 that I got 2 months after I came back home. And now I don't have a job
because you quit Hertz thinking this is going to be the breakthrough. I'm gonna.
Yeah, but on top of all of that, I still had an apartment I had to pay for. Still had a car note that I had to pay for. So all of those bills piled up for those 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
That $2,500 went straight to that. Phone, all of that. So now I'm left with basically nothing. And I'm going back home to live with my parents because I didn't have an apartment anymore.
Yeah.
So I had been out of a job for almost 2 years. And again, reality set in. I'm emailing jobs, applying for jobs for 2 years. Nobody wants to hire me. When I in my resume, I worked at Parks and Recs, worked at Hertz, worked at Foot Locker, worked front desk at a hotel.
While doing 10 other things.
Exactly. Volunteer work, graduate of John C. Smith University, basketball team, coaching, all of that. Nobody wanted to hire me. And it goes back to everything everybody's always said.
You start to believe it.
And you're not good enough. We found a better candidate for this position.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the same stuff.
Literally, I can go in Google right now on my Gmail and just type in, we found a better candidate for the position.
And you just get a list.
See about 30, 40 of them.
And going back to third grade.
Going back to third grade.
Up until your whole life.
Yeah. So dealing with that, not having a job, still dealing with the breakup.
Let me ask you this, because for me, suicide was always on my mind during my journey. Was that ever?
Yep. And this was, what were we in, March?
March of 23.
November.
So just
recent.
4 or 5 months ago.
This was recent.
Was this the first time?
Yeah. I didn't try anything, but every day I'm just driving on the highway. What if I just turn my wheel left right quick?
Mm-hmm.
What if I just hit this median? Would anybody miss me? Would anybody be like?
Because I remember your Facebook posts.
Yeah.
I reached out, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I remember you were saying stuff that kind of alluded, and that's when I started to reach out. Hey, you want to come on? And
yeah.
But I had no idea it was that severe.
It was.
I'm glad you're still here.
It was bad, bro. Like I said, dealing with stuff at home, not having a job, not making any money,
and not a job for 2 years and getting the nose. Yeah. It's not just a month or two out.
Right. And then on top of that, I was in Austin. This past year, we did our pre-draft in Austin, Texas. And a lot of people don't know this, that the whole month and a half that I was there, I was taking care of 5 guys in a 4-bedroom house. 5 guys in a 4-bedroom house, right? There was 5 beds. 5 guys.
So there's 6 total.
Right.
So you're on the couch.
No. I'm in the closet. I had to sleep in a closet for a month and a half. I still have I have a video of where I had to sleep at. Literally, it was just enough room for me to put a bed in it. That was it.
Smaller than a jail cell.
Smaller. Probably same size. Maybe same size. I've never been in a jail cell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
Literally, I walk in to the closet, I'm right at the bed already.
A jail cell might have a little more room, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's smaller than a jail cell.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So I'm
again, sacrificing.
But I felt that I didn't let it get to me. I did, but I didn't, because I'm these guys they're going somewhere, so I have to help them. Not saying that I'm not going anywhere, but
correct. But your job, your passion is to help them get to where they want to.
Right. And no matter what time, because we had 24-hour access to the gym that we were working out at.
Was it close to where y'all were staying?
It was literally right across the street, right across the highway. So
did they have cars or were you having to transport?
I had to drive.
So you were literally
I had to drive.
Like a parent for these bases.
It was the same thing I had to do in Vegas. So having to buy groceries with my own money. We needed water because we ran out of water a lot. But don't get me wrong, we had we worked out at another place called ROI. They had meals prepared for us. That drive was probably like 30 minutes every day. So I'm having to drive there every day. But like I say, with the guys, they wanted to work out 11 o'clock.
Because, some of them 3 a.m. probably.
Yeah.
That's their dream. That's their 100% focus is on.
So if that's your dream and that's your passion, I'm right there with you.
Call KJ.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So I'm in the gym with them at 11 p.m., 1 a.m. And I'm not just rebounding. I've seen trying to work out with them.
You're running with them.
Yeah.
And you got to think in the back of your head, you're like, why not me?
I can still do this a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, is this going to work out for me?
Is this God's purpose for my life?
Yeah. I keep saying it, but again, the reality hit. While I'm thinking about, being in this closet, I get a call from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how bad it was until she called me. Grandmother was sick. And she never showed like how sick she was. And next day I get another call while I'm in the gym. While I'm in the gym working out. Well, they're working out. I'm, helping out. My mom was like, probably not gonna make it through the night.
And you're a 3-hour, 4-hour flight away.
All in Austin, Texas.
Correct.
So, they're asking me like, do you want to come home? Like, we'll pay for it. Both my sisters, my mom, my dad, everybody, you want to come home? Like, we'll pay for your flight, right? Like right now, we'll get you. Like, don't worry about money. Like, because in my mind, I'm like, I don't have any money to pay for this flight.
Like I've been paying for groceries.
Yeah, I've been paying for everything here.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't have money to pay for anything. They're like, don't worry about money. Like, we'll pay for your flight and all of that. And bro, like when I say like I broke down like in the gym, like nobody knew why. Like nobody knew. Like I broke down, but I didn't cry.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to show them like what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't know what was going on. Like right after I got off the phone with my mom, I'm right back into rebounding. But I had to go off a little bit and I started shooting free throws, and that's when I started crying because it started to hit like,
yep.
I'm not gonna be able to see my grandmother again. So then maybe like a couple hours later, my cousin FaceTimed me. He was like, yo, say your goodbyes to grandma, like about to, take her off the ventilator. So I'm on the phone, like seeing her like hooked up to all these machines. I'm like, bro, like I still had to, like, I can still see it to this day. Like I'm saying goodbye to her and stuff like that. I'm like,
over FaceTime.
Yeah. Like I'm like literally the only one that's not there.
Like you can't touch her, hold her, kiss her.
I'm the only one that's not there. And then the next day at 7:12. I think, I don't want to. Mom calls me. She was like, she's gone. And I broke down. I'm like, I sat outside for at least like 2 hours just by myself, just crying like uncontrollably. Like, because like I said, I'm trying to help these guys. I'm spending all my money, sleeping in a closet. If guys had workouts, I had to drive them to the airport, which was 45 minutes away from the house, to then drive back to take the rest of the guys to go work out 30 minutes away to another facility.
Get groceries at some
point. Like all of this. So I'm having to do all of this, and then now I can't even see my grandmother again.
Just the weight of everything is just piling on.
So I'm dealing with all of that, and again, everybody's asking me, do you want to come home? Like, do you want to come home? Like, I gotta finish this.
Like I do, but yeah, I feel like I can't.
I started this, so I have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I just thought to myself and asked myself, like, what would my grandma want me to do? And she'll probably be like, KJ, just stay out there and don't get in no trouble and be safe.
That's a grandma's. That's what they would say.
That's exactly what I did. I stayed out there, and then a week later, after I got back home, because I only had like 3 or 4 more days to stay out there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like a week later after I got home, that's when we had our funeral and stuff like that. But just dealing with that, thinking back to not having a job, not having any money,
and spending the money that you don't have on
spending
others.
The money that I don't have. I tried to have relationships with women, and
mm-hmm.
just didn't work out. Not being able to get guys overseas as quick as I thought I was going to be able to. The agency wasn't really doing anything for me. Jobs kept telling me, you're not good enough. We found a better candidate. I started to spiral out. Like I spiraled out. Like I just couldn't take it anymore. So that's when depression hit like hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's when suicide hit hard. I'm like, what's the point of being here? Like, again, I'm 30 years old, living at home with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I've been getting no, or you're not good enough. Back to third grade.
You. Like, I don't need you. Like, all of that. Yeah, like all that hit at one time.
So what do you do then? How'd you get out of it? Work through it?
Honestly, I felt everything. Again,
going back to Miss Patricia.
Yeah, I just felt everything.
And that's hard to do, but you got to do it.
Yeah, I just felt everything. And over this past summer, I was with Mario a lot. Mario Chalmers a lot. Again, mm-hmm. That's my cousin. We spent a lot of time in Miami, stuff like that. Met a bunch of people. Michael Beasley, like big bro to me now.
I was about to say you're working out with him a lot. And the champ.
Yeah. Floyd, met him over the summer during summer league. Have a great relationship with him now. And I called Mike one day, because now I'm helping coach at Olympic High School, and during the season I called him, right after I had those thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys seen his episode on the Pivot, but Mike went through a lot too, and me and Mike relate to a lot of stuff, which is crazy. Like, we relate to a lot of stuff. We have conversations about everything, and we're like the same person almost.
And it's good to have that person that you can relate with and literally just talk your life experience and work through it.
I called him, and I told him about everything that was going on, and he was like, bro, like, if you feel like you don't have a purpose on this earth, nobody does. Like, nobody does. Because you have a purpose just as much as they have a purpose.
And just as much as the person at the grocery store.
Yeah. So if you don't feel like you have a purpose, like, nobody does. And then, same thing with Floyd. Like, I'm on FaceTime with Floyd, and he's like, you just got to keep going. Like, just keep going.
I don't know his history, but he probably didn't get success overnight,
So he was dealing with his nephew committing suicide. Same thing. Dealing with depression.
Mm-hmm.
His nephew committed suicide in one of his houses, and I can't think of where it was, but he was dealing with that stuff. So he was just telling me like, bro, everything's gonna work out.
It will.
And exactly like we said earlier, like you just got to be patient. Everything's gonna work out.
Because it's God's time.
Yeah.
It's like for me, when I tried to do it myself, I was facing prison and I died and woke up off life support.
Right. So
you got to be patient.
And then I have.
It's easier said than done, though.
And then I still have those, those talks with, my best friends. I call them my brothers now.
They are.
Yeah, John Parham and Demario Cloud. We talk damn near every day. Just about different stuff. Just about life. Their kids and basketball, like everything. And they also got me out of those mindsets and stuff like that. Along with my other friend Mello Hunt. A lot of Julius Polite, like you said, you had Marcus on here.
Marcus Polite, brother. Episode 15. Go check it out.
Yeah, Julius is his younger brother. Yeah, all of those guys, man, got me out of those ways.
And
you
need those so-called foxhole brothers where you can call them at 3 a.m. and they're going to answer and be there for you.
Yeah. And then they're definitely there for that. Even Mario, Mario don't talk much, but if I need Mario for anything, I know I can call him. I know I can call him for anything. But yeah, bro,
damn,
it is like I said, it's a lot of stuff people don't know about, and that I go through on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like on a day-to-day basis, it's a lot of stress that I put on myself. Coaching, helping or assistant coaching at basketball, girls and boys team at Olympic. Went 22-5 this year. And there's different emotions that goes on throughout the season, even with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm so wrapped up in mental health and and understand the changes and attitudes and mannerisms and stuff like that, I can sense it and I can notice it. And I had a kid on the team that has some stuff going on at home as well.
Mm-hmm.
His mom being an alcoholic and stuff like that, and kind of the same thing that I've been going through. We related, and I went up to him and asked him, bro, what's going on? You all right? They're like, yeah, bro, I'm good. I'm like, no, are
so when someone says I'm fine or I'm good, you're not.
Exactly. So I'm like, nah, bro, talk to me. Are you good? And he just spilled everything. We sat in the gym for probably about 15, 20 minutes. He cried because he had all this stuff going. I'm like, dude, I knew you had stuff going on, but I told y'all from the beginning, if y'all have anything that y'all need to talk about, whatever, come talk to me.
Yeah.
Come talk to me. And after we had that conversation, his
demeanor changed,
around.
and he knew he had a role model, someone that was older that could pour into him, that's dealt with what he's dealt with going through, and he wasn't alone.
Right.
The purpose of this podcast, because people can look at you, before I started, people maybe could look at me. There's some public records out there, but people don't know.
Yeah.
Like I say, everyone's got a story. Everyone's got struggles. You felt alone. I felt alone. But we're not alone.
Right. And people still think oh, AJ's famous now because he knows Floyd Mayweather and he hangs out with Michael Beasley and Mario Chalmers and he knows all these people and he's traveling all the time.
But what they don't know.
But what they don't know is A through Z has happened. And I'm trying to figure out Z back to A.
Because you're still not getting paid.
Still not. Yeah, still not getting paid. I mean, I substitute teach at Olympic now. But
but you're not.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And on top of all that, when I didn't have a job, this is another reason why I spiraled out too, because I was driving for Amazon Flex. Nobody knew it. Driving for Amazon Flex, doing DoorDash, and every time I would drop a package off or drop some food off, I'm like, bro, what am I doing?
Yeah.
This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Literally, I'm crying, dropping packages off. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I have all these talents and know all of these people, but I'm dropping packages off in my own car, like going out 30, 45 minutes from Charlotte, drop a package off, and I'm driving my own car.
And in the back of your head, we went with someone that was better.
Spending gas money, all of that. I'm just like, man, I know I shouldn't be doing this.
There's a reason and there's a purpose. And we got to be patient.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're both in that patient waiting and figuring out we know our purpose, but it's how is what is God going to use us? What's his purpose for us? We know it's helping others, but how?
Mm-hmm.
And just sticking to his plan and being faithful, which it's not easy.
Yeah. And then I also go back to, you know, me just being the person that I am. Like the first thing I ask somebody is like, you all right? Like I'll be like, what's up? Like, you good? Whether they, you know, tell me they are or not, is I made that initiative. Like, like, is that person okay? Like I was back at Olympic a couple weeks ago. Never talked to this girl a day in my life. One of the students at the school. She runs track. And, you know, she comes out, she's walking down the hall. I'm like, hey, like, she's talking to a couple of the girls that was standing beside me. She's like, I was like, hey, like, what's going on? She was like, not much. I'm like, you good? She was like, honestly, no. I'm like, what's wrong? She was like, well, this is kind of like TMI, but I take a bunch of medications because I'm suicidal. I have depression, I have ADD, I have all this other stuff going on with me, and I don't want to take my medicine anymore. And when I try to talk to people, like, nobody wants to listen. I'm like, okay, talk.
I'm giving you this space.
Yeah. I'm like, and she's standing in front of everybody, but I'm giving you this one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who's around. If you need to talk right now.
Yep.
And she just goes on and on about, you know, why she's suicidal and why she's, you know, has done what she's done. Like, and she told me that 3 months ago, if it would have went through, like, she would have been dead for 3 months.
Mm.
And after the conversation was over, she was like, I really just want to say thank you because nobody.
I was going to say, no one's probably ever asked her, how are you doing?
Like, nobody ever listens to me. And so I say that to say, you know, people really need to ask that question. Like, well, I mean, whether you feel comfortable or not, it's okay to ask somebody if they're okay. Like, and whether they give you the real answer, as long as you make that initiative, like you did something. Because a quote that, you know, I can put is, if I had a number of time that I had left to live, would you still care? Like, would you've been saying no to me this whole time? Like, I want to talk to you. No, I don't want to talk to you. But now I'm giving you a timetable on when I'm about to die or pass away. Yep. You gonna care then?
Does that change
you want to talk to me then?
Yep.
So it's just taking that initiative of just asking somebody, like, you good? Like, you okay? You need something? And that's all it takes to change somebody's mindset. Like,
because who knows what that girl could have done later that afternoon, the next day, or whatever. But you saved her life, probably.
And now every time I see her, she speaks to me, and she's been happy like ever since. Not saying that I did that, but
you create a space to where,
yeah, she's been.
And
happy
if something happens in the future, she'll feel comfortable to come to you without you having to pass her in the hallway and say, "You good?"
Exactly. So, I mean, my motto now is, you know, I do pro runs now, here in Charlotte. And,
you got some pickups.
And I've been having a lot of different pro guys coming there. Trevor Booker, Mario, Ian Miller, like a bunch of pro guys coming there and play. And my motto now is just, all I need is a platform. I'll figure out the rest. Because, and that goes on from the third grade. Like, I had to maneuver through everything from the third grade on. And it's gotten me to where I am today. Like, I've I've had a platform at every step of my life, and I've figured out how to manage and get through it.
And you've had to create that.
I had
It's
to
not
create it
been
myself.
handed to you.
So I've never.
It's
had
almost
anything
been
handed.
tried to pull away from you.
I've never had anything, and I don't expect anything to be handed to me. I honestly don't want anything handed.
Correct, because it doesn't have the
It
full
doesn't
meaning
benefit
and
me.
purpose. Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't benefit. And the same thing, goes back to Floyd. Like, I don't want anything handed from him. Like, people always say, well, Floyd Mayweather, and if I was in your shoes, I would have been had, I would have been had some money from him. I would have been this.
He probably wouldn't have been messing with
exactly
them.
I was a genuine person from the day I met him, and still am. Like, our first conversation was, I said that, you're a regular person to me. Like, I'm around pro guys all the time. Like, you're a regular person.
Their heart beats just like ours. They got blood just like us.
I mean, he came back and was like, "No, I'm 50. I'm a champ. Like, I'm the
but
champ."
See, comedic.
Yeah,
he was making a joke.
Yeah, but I'm like,
he is. But
I was like, but I mean, yeah, and congratulations on all that. But at the end of the day, like, you're still a regular person.
You got to get 8 hours, or you got to sleep. You got to eat.
Exactly.
You got to take care of your mind, your body.
And I think that's the reason why, like, he became so close to me. Like, got his number right after that, like, and all of that. So, and the same thing goes with Michael Beasley. The first time I met him, I knew he had a clothing line, and I was like, "How much is it? Like, I'll pay for it." He was like, "Bro, like, it's crazy. Everybody always asks me, can they get stuff for free? Like, you're probably like the first person that's ever asked, like, can you pay for it?" He was like, "You know what? I'll send you a box." Never got it. Still ain't got it. But
Michael, if you're listening, send KJ.
Send my gear, bro.
his
Send my gear. But nah, I mean, it's just about, being genuine.
And you played pickup with them, and you scored on him. I saw.
Man, he can't guard me.
I saw that.
He knows that. He knows he can't guard me. But yeah, I mean, it's just about being genuine, taking that initiative of, just asking somebody if they're okay.
Exactly, and it goes back to kind of how you were raised, and your surroundings, because you see a lot of people who aren't genuine, and you can take a look at people around them and see, I see where they get it from,
right.
But just being genuine and humble, and at the end of the day, we're all human, and making sure that we're all doing good.
Yeah. And I do want to say, even though I do say I have stuff going on at home, I do have two genuine, loving parents. Like, no matter what I need to this day, like, my mother still gives me money if I need it. My dad still looks after me if I need it. Both my sisters treat me like I'm their kid. Like, everybody. Like,
no home life is perfect.
Exactly.
And if you say it's perfect, you're lying.
Exactly.
So before we wrap up, I just ask every guest, and you've given a lot of advice. What advice would you give to the listeners? Whether it's high schooler, pro ball player, whoever, but just something that's helped you, and advice that's been given to you, or just something you've picked up. You might have already said it, but just what advice would you give?
Be intentional. Be intentional with everything that you do. Whether you feel like you're going to mess up, whether you feel like it was a mistake, but be intentional, because you're going to learn from it, and learn to make decisions, not choices, because you can learn from decisions while choices are, just made on the spot. Yeah, just be intentional, be genuine, and got a platform, use it. Figure out the rest after that.
100%. KJ, it's been an honor. Thank you for your vulnerability. I mean, you shared a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know about. So thank you. And it's going to help a lot of people. You're going to help a lot of people. You already have.
Yeah.
I'm just proud to know you and glad to see where the Lord takes you, and just sky's the limit. Glad that already.
Glad to see you still here, bro. Glad to see you still here, because, like you said, you've been through a lot, done a lot. God has kept you.
Mm-hmm.
God is going to continue to keep you. As long as you continue to go down, right path, we're both going to have slip ups and
Yep.
mistakes and whatever. But as long as we can continue to do the right thing, think the right ways, help as many people as we can, everything's going to work.
We got the same mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to know you. It's been an honor. And I'll have to have you back on and
Definitely.
Get some of your boys on here because again, everyone's got a story.
Yeah.
Everyone's got struggles. We're not alone. I mean, you even said Floyd, a lot of pro guys, people that look up and are like, oh, he's got this much money. He's doing this.
They go through the same things.
Exactly. It doesn't.
Same things.
It don't matter your age, your race, your bank account, your zip code. It affects everyone.
And they probably go through it the worst because they're celebrities.
Who are your true friends? Like for them, are people after them for their money or like you, a genuine friendship?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to decipher. And that's why they're so standoffish and they have their tight circles because they know who the real ones are.
Yep. Exactly.
So, I mean, that speaks a lot on you that you are allowed to become in that circle.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's good to sit down and chalk it up with you. And mental health is huge and still a long ways to go, with getting it in the public school systems. But it's a start.
Yeah.
So thank you for sitting down and just being vulnerable.
Sure.
Thank you all for tuning in this week, episode 60. Can't believe it's been 60 episodes, but thank y'all. Go subscribe. Spotify, Apple Podcast. Go give us a follow on Instagram, The Rabbit Hole Show, all underscores. But as I always say, we all have a story. We all have struggles. The good news is you're not alone. Love y'all and stay tuned for next week.